Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Acemetaphor, and this is the Ace of Hearts podcast coming to you right now on YouTube, live on Instagram. Listen, I get hit up in my YouTube inbox. I didn't even know that was a thing about questions. Now, if you want to ask me a question, all you have to do is follow me on Instagram at acemetaphor, and you'll see the questions tab, and you just ask me a question in that tab when I post it on my story, and it will be answered on the Ace of Hearts podcast. All right. So before I get started, make sure you hit the little button, turn on your notifications so you know when I go live on Instagram and YouTube. You will understand, you will know when it gets uploaded there. For everybody that's listening on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, shout out to y'all as well. But let's get right into it without any further ado. Somebody said, how to break a soul tie if you already do no contact. Let me tell you something, man. Those soul ties, those uneven yokage, those unhealthy attachments hurt. You know what I'm saying? And it takes a while for you to be able to get over situations sometimes. A lot of people think you break up physically, mentally, that means you're breaking up also. Sometimes it takes a while, and we can't rush the process. I know it'd be perfect if you could just break up with somebody and your mind say, all right, I'm broken up too, and your heart be like, yeah, I'm done too, at the same time. But normally that doesn't happen. A lot of times, either physically you leave before your mind and your heart does, or your mind mentally and your heart leaves before you do physically. Have you ever been in those relationships where shit is over, but you're still there going through the motions of the relationship? Yeah, we done all been there before. I done been there before. So you might be in that situation right now. So what I would say is, man, how do you break that soul tie? By just putting it in proper perspective. You may not fall out of love with this individual, but the reason you are not in a relationship with that person is not because you don't love them. It's because the relationship isn't healthy and are functional. You see what I'm saying? And I think we got to get back to that point. Like, yo, I'm getting sick of people always being like, yo, do you love him? Don't you hate that? Like when your friends, when you're going through some shit with your man or your boyfriend or whoever or your girlfriend, and they hit you with, but do you love him though? And you be like, yeah, well, that's all that matters. No, that's not all that matters. I'm getting sick of people making it seem like love is the only thing that matters in a partnership. A committed relationship where two people are supposed to invest and pour in each other. Love ain't all that matters. That's the basic requirement to this thing, man. And when we keep doing that, I think that's the most toxic way of thinking ever, is when we try to make it seem like all a person has to do is say they in love with you and everything is fine. Nah, forget that, man. Forget that. We got to change our course of thinking, man. Because I believe this whole love thing is really overblown, man, because I thought relationships were fostered over, effective communication, compassion, understanding. The fruitage of the spirit, you know what I'm saying? Somebody being godlike, somebody honoring you, somebody respecting you, somebody placing your needs as a priority in their life. Like, I don't understand why people make it seem like it's okay to stay in hurtful, harmful relationships simply because you love somebody. I don't get it. Maybe y'all get it. I don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, matter of fact, let's talk about that real quick. I'm gonna post another question, but to answer your question, soul ties are like hard to get over. All right, so I wish it was an easy way to tell you, you know what I'm saying, that there's things you can do. My suggestion for you is just to think about putting that relationship in the proper perspective in your life. You know what I'm saying, where you don't look at it with a grievous eye, but you enjoy it for what it was and know that you're leaving this relationship not because you don't love this person, but because this thing is not healthy. All right. So hold on one second. All right. Let's see. All right, here it is. Are there different layers to love? So I think this question applies to it. So I'm about to go back to that what we were covering, because I think we need to talk about it a little bit more. So one of my biggest pet peeves is that, though, you going through some tough things in your relationship, and you got these friends, these associates, these family members that you confide in about the tough things that you are going through in a relationship and the bullshit you are putting up with. And the best they can come with is, do you love him though? And you be like, yeah, I love him. Well, you should work it out because that's all that matters. It's not all that matters. That is not all that matters. And we got to quit telling people that. If you are watching and you are one of those, that's all that matters people, stop it. Stop it. That's unhealthy. And what it does is it leads to more toxicity in relationships, because relationships take a little bit more than just love. At what point do we hold people accountable for their actions? At what point do we say you didn't deliver on your promises? You broke your vows. At some point you say, I need somebody to be evenly yoked with me. I need you to give as much as you're receiving, because right now you're receiving all that goodness I'm giving you and you ain't giving nothing back. At some point, we got to say, I love you, but I can't be in a relationship with you. That's the difference. Not everybody in this life that you love, you should be with. Period. So this whole idea of just asking somebody, well, do you love him? As if that helps. Of course you love that person. Of course. That's a no-brainer. But the question should be, is this relationship healthy? Is it functional? Is it loving? See, here's the difference. It's easy to ask somebody, do you love him? Ask that person, is the relationship loving? Loving is an action. Like a consecutive action, like the act of love over and over and over again, loving. It's happening all around when you enter this relationship. When you walk in the door, there's a loving atmosphere. When you're greeted, it's in a loving way. When there's a disagreement, it's handled lovingly, with respect to your feelings, your viewpoints, with tender loving care, with sensitivity. Loving. When you're having a hard day at work and you come home, do you feel like there's an atmosphere of love in that household or not? That's what we need to be asking people. Because I believe asking, well, do you love him? Is just adding to somebody's dysfunction. It's okaying the toxicity and the unhealthy behavior inside of a relationship. There's a difference between somebody loving you and being loving. And we got to be able to spot that. Let me tell you, when somebody is loving towards you, they ain't hurting you at the same time. It's almost impossible for love and pain to exist at the same time. And people confuse that. Somebody ain't loving you if they hurting you. They can't do it at the same time. I'm sorry. It can't be. Somebody can't be loving towards you if they cussing you out. Are they making everything about them? Are they being narcissistic? Are they being egocentric? Are they being controlling and jealous? That's not loving. Loving is being supportive, compassionate, considerate, respectful, having integrity, being faithful. Those are loving actions. Reciprocating. First of all, don't get in a relationship with me unless you know that word. Reciprocate. Unless that's like do the same shit I'm doing towards you. And that's a barometer for these relationships. So I'm just telling everybody that's watching right now, understand the difference between somebody that loves you and somebody that's being loving towards you. And use that as the barometer of whether or not you should stay in this relationship. Y'all keep looking at the wrong thing, man. Who told you that just because you love somebody, you have to be in a relationship with that somebody? Who taught you that? Who told you that everybody you love, you got to love in a romantic, committed way? Sometimes you can love them and know that the relationship ain't working. That don't mean you got to stay out of love with that person. You got to fall out of love with that person. And that's the mistake that everybody make. You waiting until you fall out of love in order to break. No, you should wait until you know that the relationship ain't working. That's it. I ain't got to love you to leave you. I ain't got to not love you to leave you. Period. I will leave you when I know that this relationship isn't going anywhere and is leaching both of our happiness and energy like a black hole. That the more we try to love each other, we actually hurt each other. That this was a mistake. That you'll be happier finding your meant to be. And I'll be happier if I find mine. But we can't force each other to be our soulmates. I can't mold you into the one if you ain't already her. And you can't mold that man into that man if he ain't already him. This whole love thing is overrated, man. And I'm not saying that you don't need love in your relationships. Trust me. Love is a pillar, but it is not the only pillar. And that's the problem. A lot of you guys are building the whole foundation, the whole building of your relationship on one pillar called love, and neglecting the rest of the pillars that's needed to hold it up just in case the love crumbles at some point. You think that people get to 50 and 60 years by accident just because the love stays strong the whole time? No, they had other pillars. One of the pillars was friendship. Another pillar was trust. Another pillar was understanding and communication. Another pillar was integrity. Another pillar was a relationship with God. So when the pillar of love, because best believe if you're in a relationship 60 years, at some point you may not love that person no more for a little bit. And they might not love you, right now. Love can come and go in a long relationship. I hate to say that, but ask anybody that's been married 60 years. They'll tell you, sometimes the love may go, but you got those other pillars to support your relationship until you can repair that one. I'm telling you, love is one of the ingredients, but it is not the only one. So if you care about your friend, you care about your girl, you care about those people in your life, quit asking them, do you love him? Because that's irrelevant to a relationship, a partnership, a commitment. Ask that person, is the relationship loving? Is it functional? Is it becoming? Is it evenly yoked? If the answers to those things is no, what the fuck it mean? What the fuck it matters if you love that person or not, man? Here's the thing. I think we be saying we stay in relationships because we love them. No, you stay in a relationship because you don't love you. Talking about, well, I just love him. That's why I'm here. No, you just don't love you. That's what it is. Yeah, that's what it is. Because you are a grown individual. You know that love is not all that's needed to grow a fruitful, long-lasting relationship. But in devoid of you realizing that sometimes you got to say, I'm going to be lonely for a minute. In devoid of you saying, I can do this by myself. I need to fall back in love with me. You choose to stay in a relationship that's doing nothing but distracting you from your purpose. I think that's my biggest thing with that, man. And my bad, Instagram. I know I'm supposed to be getting to y'all questions, but, whatever. That's my biggest thing with this, man. I hear women and men over and over again justifying staying in a negative relationship simply because they love that person. And I just feel like that's the biggest lie that we tell ourselves. You won't change your outcome unless you start telling the truth. You ain't there because you love him. You there because you don't love you. Because anybody that can stay in a relationship with a person that's hurting them over and over and over again, you don't love yourself enough. You love them, but not you. That's it. So the reason you're in this relationship is not because of the love of them. It's because of the lack of love for you. Look at it. Look at your standards, how it fell so much. When you were a little girl, did you hope and dream that one day you would marry somebody that was going to put their hands on you? Was that the plan? Somebody that couldn't keep a job? Was that the plan? Somebody that was disrespectful, narcissistic? Was that the plan? No, it wasn't. That was not the plan. So when did your standards get so low? I'll tell you when you stop loving yourself enough and you start thinking that this is what you deserve. This whole I love him thing is over. It's played out, man. We too grown. We too grown right now. I ain't saying that love ain't important. But try loving your damn self first. Try loving God. Try loving the people around you, your support system, the people that are building and investing in you. Try loving them with the same amount of vigor you loving that person that ain't doing nothing but hurting you and wasting your goddamn time. Let's be honest, man. You know that shit ain't gonna work. You know it ain't working. Hold on, YouTube. You know it ain't working. You know it ain't working. You and I both know the shit ain't working and it ain't gonna work. You know that and I know that. Let me ask you a question right now. That person you with right now, the person you in a relationship with, are you gonna marry that person? That person you in a relationship in right now, is he the one? Exactly. You ain't doing nothing but wasting your damn time. There's people up here like, and I get it. It's a question and answer session. So of course you're going to ask me questions about this, but let's be real about it, man. You've been with this person for so long and you still are questioning your position in that person's life. Every time you think you make a step forward, you take 2 steps back in this relationship. The only reason you there is because when you threaten to leave, he act right for a little bit. That ain't love, man. So the question is there different layers of love? Yes. There are. But the ones you need to be concerned about is the people that say they love you and the people that actually do. There are 2 different categories of lovers. There's the people that say they love you, and there's the people that do. And sometimes you get so enamored by the people that's saying they love you that you neglect to see if they actually do. I hear you, but let me see it. How you say you love me, but you hurt me every time you get? Every chance you get, how you say you love me, but you make me look stupid in front of my friends and family when I defended you. You say you love me, but you call me out my name. You say you love me, but you never show it when the little things that come. When you know it's the little things that matter. But there's people that do love you. It's people that love you so much that when I ask you, do they love you? You be like, yeah. And I'll ask you why, and you can name shit. You can name shit. Like, here's the thing. It's people right now that if I ask you, do they love you? You be like, yeah. And I'll be like, how you know? And you go name shit. Like, you gonna name it. Like, do he love you? Girl, yeah, he love you. How you know? Because he's faithful. He's home every night. He's caring. He's considerate. He makes sure he kisses me before I go to work. He brings me lunch at work. He's dependable. He's always there when I need him. He picks up the phone. He makes time for this relationship. And matter of fact, what he does is he's willing to work inside this relationship. You can name shit, man. Some of y'all be saying people love you, but you can't name one thing that proves that they do. I get you love me, but show your math. Like, hey, you remember in like middle school where you was in like pre-algebra or something like that, and you knew the answer was 4, but you got your points taken off your test because you didn't show the math. Like, listen, it ain't enough for you to tell me you love me. Most people know the answer is to say I love you. Even sometimes when they don't know if they really do. That's why I need to see the math. I need to see how you came to this conclusion. It is not enough for me to hear these words if I don't see the proof in your actions. Let me see how you solved this complex problem over there. Let me see how you carried the love over. Let me see how you divided it by unselfishness. Let me see how you brought the pie to the picnic that you planned for me. Let me see all the math, and so I can tell that that equals love. It ain't enough to just know that answer. You could have got that from TV or your friends. Just say you love her. Just say you love him. You done heard I love you so much that now you know that's the answer to the test. But I need to know if you really know, if you actually do. And know what you're doing to get this result. I don't want to be loved by accident. I want to be loved on purpose, with intentions. Some people can accidentally love you the right way for a season, but they don't really know what they doing. So they can't love you right for a lifetime. It is not enough to know somebody love you if they can't show the proof of it. The proof is in their actions. It is the way they walk, they talk, and they interact with you. It is how they bring compassion to the relationship. Sensitivity is how they place your needs, your concerns in a special place in their life. It's how willing they are to do the duties associated with love. A person that loves you, they always there, right? It's like when something going wrong, for some reason, they always seem to call at the right time, right? It's like a divine connection that links you guys when it's true love. It's like they're not just there in the bad times either. It's like when something good happens, they call your phone too. It's like they always there at the right time in the right moments. And their phone is never face down on the table. Shit is always over. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know they only loving you. You know what I'm saying? It is certain things that people in love will do. And there's certain things that people in love won't do. A person that truly loves you, man, they don't go cheat on you. They don't put their hands on you. They don't call you out your name. They don't embarrass you in front of your friends. And I know what y'all about to say, but what if he's still working on himself? Then he don't know how to love. He don't know how. A lot of you guys are getting hurt right now because you're in a relationship with somebody that don't know how to love you. They don't. They want to with all their spirit. They want to love you with every fiber in their heart, man. Every bone in their being. They want to so bad. I know they do. But they don't know how. And you getting hurt because you the one, the stupid one, that's willing to try to teach them. You getting dumber the more you trying to teach them. Because don't you look stupid when they make you out to be a liar in front of your family. Every time you give them another chance, what the fuck they do with it? Break it again. Every time you listen to them when they say, I'ma do better, do they actually do better? It ain't enough to know someone loves you if they don't know how. If they don't know how to show the proof and show their work. I want you to love me with everything you have. But I want you to love me appropriately, the right way. I done been there before, man. Like, it get me emotional right now because, like, I've loved people so much, man, but I've hurt them so bad simply because I didn't know how to. And trust me, fellas, that's the worst feeling in the world, is losing somebody you care about. And you have tried everything in your body, like everything within your power to change, but you can't. Like somebody on my Instagram, they asked the other day, they was like, well, I said, One of the videos was like, well, if you love her, leave before you hurt her. And somebody was like, well, if they love you, wouldn't they change for you? They don't know how. Like, you don't think I wanted to change and be better? I just didn't know how. Like, I tried everything, man. Everything I could think of. And I still was angry. It was still all about me. It's like, even in my mind, I knew that what I was doing was wrong. But I couldn't tell my body not to. That's why I tell you, it doesn't matter if somebody wants to love you. Sometimes they can't. And you got to realize that, man. You got to realize that sometimes somebody can't, no matter how much they want to. I hurt people because I didn't know how to love them. Not because I didn't try. Oh, I tried. Like, and it's like a lot of times when I get asked these questions from women, it's like, I think a lot of women think that men don't care. And no, it's just the motherfucker don't know how to love your ass, man. That's it. And so I'm telling you right now, and the thing is, you'll hear me. You'll see me damn near about to cry because I'm telling you, I fucked up. Not because I didn't want to do better. It's because I couldn't. You'll hear me say that and still reason in your head that you can change that man. You'll hear me say right now, it's not enough for someone to say they love you. They got to show it with their actions. You hear that. Be motivated for a day, and tomorrow your ass will be back with Reggie's trying to love you ass. So yeah, to answer your question, there's a right and a wrong way to love. Yeah, so it's a couple different levels to love, y'all. The people that say they love you and the people that do. Now, I ain't gonna be a fool. I ain't gonna sit up in here and tell you that just I want you to love me on purpose with intention. I want you to know what the fuck you doing, okay? Because it's the people that be trying that hurt you, yo. But he trying, Ace. He trying and still hurting you. He don't know what the fuck to do, man. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Y'all don't hear me though. Oh my God. Man, just don't know how, man. So sometimes you gotta leave. Not because you don't love him, but because you love you. Because you love yourself. And I'll tell you this. We put up with people that don't love us correctly because we haven't first learned how to love ourselves correctly. Prior to getting in those relationships, it's not enough for you to say you love yourself. I need you to show your work, show your math, prove you actually do. Because if you get in those relationships without being confident, you know how to love yourself correctly, you'll fall victim to somebody that don't. And you'll be more empathetic and forgiving of they fuck ups because you didn't know first how to love yourself correctly. And that's about all I got to say about that. I ain't got to blow my nose. All right. We about done. Hey, Ace of Hearts, I appreciate you. If you want to book a shirt, go to shop acemetaphor.com. Get your book, get your shirt. I'm about to upload this tonight so y'all can watch it. Peace.